Hello one and all, welcome to Seeing Through Glass. Welcome finally back to London. It's been a while. There's been a lot of travelling on the channel recently. Feels quite good to be home. Today's going to feel like a bit of an old school London video because recently Bosch got in touch and offered to lend me a vehicle that was equipped with their latest innovations and technology. This Range Rover Velar is fully equipped with all the latest Bosch driver assistance systems. Just like the Land Rover Defender that I borrowed at the start of the year, it's got the 2D bird's eye view cameras, the 3D surround cameras, you can do the kind of virtual fly around the vehicle, it's got the invisible bonnet feature, it's got Wade sensing on this vehicle, which hopefully we won't need today unless I accidentally drive into the Thames. And also this car has the parking assistance systems, which I've actually never used. This vehicle can park itself. Inherently makes me a little bit nervous, but Bosch assure me it's a fantastic system. So yes, I'm keen to experience what it will be like to live with these systems in and around London, especially that park assistance feature. And, as I say, do a bit of an old school London vlog visiting some of the best supercar dealerships this city has to offer. It's the Wimbledon tennis tournament in London at the moment, and there are various vehicles transporting the tennis stars to and from their matches. And I've actually just spotted one of those vehicles behind me right now. It's a big old Land Rover Discovery with the huge Wimbledon logo on it. And I'm using the rear view camera to see if I can spy into the cabin and work out if it's a famous tennis player. Could be Djokovic or Nadal or Raducanu, but I can't quite see from either the rear view camera or the rear view mirror if there's anyone famous in there. But I actually learned with the Defender that this is kind of part of the fun of having all this tech in these cars. When you're in standstill traffic, which you are all the time in London, you can play around with all these cameras like they're a computer game. It's literally like virtual reality, but it's your own car. So that is a famous player behind. I want to know. Well, first stop today is the ever mind-blowing Joe Macaro. I have filmed many videos down here in the past. There's one car in here worth around 25 million pounds. Let's have a look around. Well, this is what I call silly street at Macaro's, because often in front of these windows you get some of the most insanely valuable and rare cars they have in stock, and today is no different. We'll kick things off with this McLaren P1 GTR that is road legal. This was supposed to be a track-only variant of McLaren's Holy Trinity hypercar, but someone went, no, I like the look of that for the road. I mean, driving around London today, I'm grateful I don't have a front splitter like that. I mean, this car could benefit from those Bosch assistance systems. Honestly, it really would need that 3D viewing camera to maneuver this thing around the city. I'm fairly sure it doesn't come with it. So anyway, crazy to see, very, very cool. As is this Maserati MC12 GT1 race car. And then we come on to the main show. Yes, I mentioned that there was a car in here worth 20 to 25 mil. You're looking at it. A 1965 Ferrari 365 P2/3. This is, oh my god, pretty, well, it's a pinch yourself moment, or it's a pinch myself moment. Maybe you don't care. I do, because this is an iconic 1960s race car that was legitimately competitive in its day. This car won things and competed in some of the most iconic races that ever took place. It's been fully restored by Ferrari, it's been displayed in Concours recently, and this is a collector's piece right here. Porsche Carrera 10 or 910 that's right next to it. This, I think, was a couple of years later than the 365, but competed in a sort of similar way, and you can see the bodies aren't wholly dissimilar in their kind of aerodynamic vision, but yeah, I mean, just spectacular to find this here. I had no idea. Talking of things that are cool to see though, check this out, a 2015 Audi R18 Le Mans car. This thing competed in the World Endurance Championship. This is a proper bit of kit, and it is tiny. The camera is really not picking it up. But look, here we go. There is that 275 GTS from Ferrari, and there's an E-Type on the other side. Those are very small cars. If I bought the Velar in here right now, those cars would be dwarfed. This is even smaller than those two cars. It is miniature. I feel like I just want to come in and just pick it up and put it in my pocket. But it's also incredibly sculpted. I think I sometimes underestimate just the amount of incredible aerodynamic work that goes in to creating these endurance races. And oh look, Bosch! Genuinely, that is a strange coincidence. I had no idea, but Bosch clearly involved with this project. And yeah, it's just an unbelievable thing to see. The cabin, the cockpit where the driver is, it's minuscule. It's like a proper fighter jet in there. You've got this little tiny letterbox style windscreen for them to look out of. But look there, you can see all the kind of channels and aero funnels for the air to pass through. It is unreal seeing this. Every now and again, Macaro have incredible sort of competition, ex-competition cars on display or in stock, and this kind of blows all of the past ones out of the water because, yeah, unbelievable. Whilst there is so much more I could show you today, I'll quickly end on these two because we've got lots to see in this video. This lovely Jaguar XJ220, seen quite a few places before, but to its left, oh my god, it's a Lamborghini Reventon Roadster or Spider or Cabriolet. I mean, what an absolutely nuts thing to see. This obviously sat between the Murcielago and the Aventador, kind of hinted at the future design language of Lambo, but was super inspired by kind of fighter jets, fighter pilots. Yeah, absolutely mad. There you go, Lamborghini Reventon Roadster, limited to just 15 units around the world. Absolutely insane. Mad to see. I have seen a coupe on the road before. Don't think I've ever seen a Roadster. But yeah, considering how old this is now, it still looks super futuristic, a big collector car for Lambo enthusiasts. That place really is always mind-boggling. Honestly, if you're ever in London, I think you have to go and visit Macaro. Could have spent all day there, but we move on to Romans International, who are far less likely to have a lot of classics. They really focus on the kind of modern stuff, but a quite wide scope of modern stuff, from Rolls-Royce Cullinans through to Bugatti Veyrons. So yeah, it'll be fun to go and see what they got in stock at the moment. I wonder if now is a good time to attempt the park assist. Maybe not, amongst a whole load of very expensive vehicles. Okay. Start. Oh, this is too quick. This is way too quick. There's also a Mercedes right behind me. What's he gonna do? Oh my god. I genuinely thought we were about to hit that Mercedes. This is not real life, right? I'm not touching the pedals, I'm not touching anything. This is kind of amazing, people, but I'm so nervous. There's a £90,000 Porsche that side, probably a £30,000 Mercedes that side. Oh. Fair play. Fair play. That is genuinely the first time I've ever used a park assistance system, and that is pretty impressive. Maybe I overinflated the value of that Mercedes, by the way, but I mean, in cities, actually just in general, I mean, my wife will love that feature. But anyway, welcome to Romans International. Now, we are starting to push the limit of what is acceptably called a London car dealership, kind of in Surrey now, but without traffic, you're probably only about 35, 40 minutes from the centre of town here, so I'm still going to call it a London dealership. These guys have recently expanded into a new premises just behind us. I haven't actually been here since they've done that. They always have ridiculously high-end stock, so I guess let's jump into the new showroom, see what's here. Well, this is a frankly ridiculous sight, isn't it? we've got Ferrari LaFerrari. Can you believe the value of these things at the moment? £2.7 million. They're just going up and up and up. That's not even an Aperta. That's a coupe. They are becoming so sought after. The Big Daddy. Very cool to see. Right next to it, a stunningly spec'd and I would say a famous car within the London social media scenes. Bugatti Veyron Vitesse. Super cool with this blue carbon body. So yeah, very nice to see, even though I have seen it a few times before. It's always nice to see again. And then check out this tailor-made SF90, actually two SF90s of course, next to it an Assetto Fiorano car, which is slightly more track focused, fixed dampers and things like that. Saw plenty of those on the Mille Miglia, but then this one with its kind of unique colouring, pretty cool to see. I am coming around the way these cars look, but the madness does continue. We've got a 997 GT2 RS. These things are monsters. Obviously the more modern 991 1.2 generation, very sought after, but this is a proper animal. Spins its wheels into about 4th or 5th gear, and I love the looks with the carbon roof and things like that, or carbon bonnet even. 1, 2, 3 918 Spiders. But I wanted to point out this bad boy because Ferrari 430 Spider, wait for it though, manual gearbox. That's a lovely spec. Doesn't have the race seats, but red with crema, Rosso Corsa crema interior. Very classic looking thing. What's the price of this? 135 grand. That's probably about right, to be honest. Only 13,000 miles. Lots of you messaging me about kind of manual Ferraris or modern classic Ferraris. That's a pretty good example right there. But yeah, I mean, this is the new showroom down here at Romans, and they're saying it's a bit packed in at the moment. I can see what they mean, but packed in with outrageous cars. But the silliness does continue outside, because look at all of this knocking around in the front. Well, another incredible dealership, but I've got to be honest, I'm still reeling from the whole park assist thing. I can't get my head around it. I was going to call it magic, but it's not magic, it's wizardry. It was amazing. It worked perfectly. Of course, we're driving the Range Rover Velar today, but Bosch offer these systems to a whole range of manufacturers, so some of you out there might be very familiar with this stuff, and maybe you've got park assist on your car. If you do, are you using it? Let me know in the comments below, because I'm a bit like, why would I ever park manually again? I'm still going to probably hover over the brake next time I use it, but surely over time you just trust the system completely, and then gets rid of the stress of, yeah, tight parking in city centres, or really anywhere. That wasn't even a tight city centre. I just thought I would do it in a big open space to begin with to see how it all worked, and now I want to kind of push the limits to it. Another system which I find mind-blowing is the invisible bonnet, which I used a lot with the Land Rover Defender I had at the start of the year. It makes positioning the vehicle through a car wash or width restriction, off-roading or going up a steep incline super easy. It does what it says on the tin. It makes the bonnet invisible, which is amazing. So yeah, I was distracted throughout my visit to Romans thinking about, wow, how did the car just park itself? Final stop of the day then is GVE. Now, I haven't been down here for about 6 years, and they were actually in a different location when I previously visited. As you can see behind me, they are rammed with supercars and a couple of hypercars. So I'm going to try and show you everything in here, because it's all pretty jaw-dropping. Starting off in this corner, we've got a lovely GT2 RS, another Daytona Spider. Saw a Daytona Spider at Joe Macaro. Didn't expect to see another one today, but there you go. Lovely 355 Portofino and a 992. Well, that's a Turbo S Cabriolet. We're just going to call it a 992 Carrera, but it's not. Come and look at this 812 GTS, stunning dark red colour, and polished wheels. Not something really that you've seen since the 90s, something like that. I'm actually a huge fan of a polished wheel finish, even on a Ferrari. And this one with the stunning interior, as you can see, it's a tailor-made car, meaning it's gone through the kind of exclusive program to have some bespoke touches like the colour, probably the polished wheels and a few other bits and bobs. But I'm sure you've all been distracted by this. Yes, it's an Enzo Ferrari with a quite unique Enzo Ferrari badge. Let me just show you in here, because even more uniquely than that badge, this car signed by Michael Schumacher. That means for me this is the holy grail, because I'm Schumacher obsessed. If you didn't know, even my phone cover is the Schumacher Benetton era racing overalls. But yeah, black wheels on this car, so freaking cool, incredible to see, looking unbelievable in this showroom right next to Bugatti Veyron. So yeah, the hypercar madness continues. I really thought today would be a supercar showroom tour. It's turning out to be a hypercar showroom tour. I think this is just a standard Veyron. I get a bit lost with my Veyron super editions or special editions. I'm feeling like that's just a 16.4. Could be wrong. Pretty mad. And look down here. Look at that exhaust. Oh my God. Unbelievable. We've got a Vanquish shooting brake, which is kind of like the estate version, I guess you could say. Aventador SV Roadster. I mean, this goes on. McLaren 600 LT, Lamborghini Huracan Performante. Coming further back, we've got a 675 LT Spider, another 600 LT. The list goes on and on. McLaren Mercedes SLR, and then look at this beast. That is the Abt RS6R. I think most of you know I'm a big fan of modern classics, but today has kind of whetted my appetite for a modern supercar. Walking around and seeing such amazing stock at all three of these dealerships, it's got me going, Anyway, luckily, I've got a modern supercar coming, don't I? Because yes, coming soon, 992 GT3. Hopefully you would have seen my announcement that I've got a slot for one of these cars. This is what I'd call very much, I'm not going to call it resale spec. If you could think of a red F12, that's resale red. This was obviously the launch colour, but it's sort of quite a traditional spec for an early car on the used market. Shark blue details on the wheels and on the headlights. It's got the Porsche decals over the top, and I'm assuming it's going to be PDK. Yes, it is PDK. I am still confused as to whether I want a PDK or a manual car when it comes to my GT3. Pressure is going to be put onto me soon, because we're going to have to lock in specs at some point, so I need to figure that out. But I mean, I am so excited for the day I'm going to have keys to one of these things. Having said that, my pick of the bunch, especially post Mille Miglia, is this. I'm obsessed with this tailor-made GTS. I think it's just stunning and near on perfect as a car, as a spec. I know polished wheels are going to be very controversial, but I'm a big fan. Anyway, probably enough. Let's go. I have to say, usually width restrictions in London are the bane of my life, but being able to use the off-road setting to negotiate these is fantastic. I'll line it up and just edge myself through, making sure that I'm not going to curb any of my wheels, or more often / more importantly, loan cars, press car wheels. So huge thanks to Bosch for giving me the excuse to do this, because I haven't done it for ages, and to show you and to experience myself some of their amazing driver assistance systems. Really, for me, the standout has been that park assistant, just because, well, I guess I've never used it before. Everything else I've become familiar with and actually feel like I can't survive without. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you have, and stay subscribed for plenty more videos to come.